Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Thank you everybody for staying with us as we progress through the end of the show. Thank you so much. We just picked up a new listener. What's going on, Mom? We see you out there listening. That's why it's Mama listening. Say it to your mama, girl.
Hi, Mom. You're late.
Yeah, she late, but she here for the rants and the closing, so she can hear some good stuff.
Mama, you feel better?
Hopefully she does. Ain't no half stepping. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. It's time for our rants. It's time for our closings. SY, you want to lead off?
Well, once again, thank you, as always, to our listeners. Every week, man, if you weren't listening, again, we wouldn't be talking. I think I'm going to use that. If you weren't listening, we wouldn't be talking. I kind of like that. But, shut up. But anyway, don't forget, next week, we're here for some fun. So make sure you pay attention to shows. Make sure you can answer my questions. Hint, hint, wink, wink. So until then, I'll see you next week.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Carlton Banks. It's time for you to get into your rant and time for you to get into your closing. What you got, brother?
How important is status to you? Do you have to have the new Jordans? Do you have to have a new shirt? Do you have to have a new tie? Do you have to have the top of the line everything? I just need to know, is that important? Does that status carry over? Does that make you come in, when you come over, you feel better? Or does it just make you hate? Really, what is the status?
What do you mean by make you hate?
I'm just saying, let me finish my rant. Calm down, relax. I'm going to get you in there.
Well, you're looking at me.
Okay, I like looking at you. You're easy on the eyes. Okay? So, as I was saying, what does the status mean to you? Do you like going down the street, you see all the houses run down, but here you come up with this 1962 Pinto that got rims on it? Is that just a status symbol? What is it that you like about having rims on a 1962 Pinto? I don't get that. The rims cost more than a Pinto, which is a death trap. They were pulled off the road, but you got some nice rims on that 62 Pinto. I don't understand it. So you gotta have the top of the line of everything. Does that mean you live from paycheck to paycheck? That your status is lightened by the fact that you got the brand new Beats by Dre or the Beats pill by Dre? Because the dude dropping on a commercial on him, yeah, that was kind of hot. But why is it that you gotta have the next best thing? Is it going to change anything in your life? Is it going to make you, grow wings and drinking like a Red Bull? What? I just need to know. Is that status important that it's going to be that thing that carries you over to the next week? Again, I'm looking at you because you're easy on the eyes. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to talk about you. You're not hating. You're in love. Anyway, so that's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to ramble for a few minutes and then going to bring it over here to Ruben.
Ain't no half stepping. Marcus J. Carlton Banks
Love me.
I don't like
with his ramble time, as he like to call it. It's not unusual that he says anything coherent. So, Big Rube, it's time for you to smash him, brother. What you got, man?
This is Big Rube. It's a smash. First of all, I'd like to thank a couple things. I know it's not Thanksgiving, but in honor of the next week's festivities, I figure I need to get my thanks out this week. First of all, thank the fam. Without them, I would not be here. I'd like to thank friends. I'd like to thank people who listen to the show. I'd like to thank my cousin AG, who's been down with us since day one. Big love, AG. I'd like to thank the crew. I appreciate y'all. It's hard to give me a way to, to come out here and just yell and whatever and speak my mind. And y'all sit there and y'all, for the most part, take it. So I do appreciate that. Appreciate everybody on the legacy team. All the shows. I feel like that a brand is being created, a very strong brand. I like to thank my partner, Marcus J. Without him, there is no legacy. A lot of people sit and, whatever. But Marcus does a lot of the hard work, and I appreciate that. Me being the silent partner as such, he does a lot of work on the ground and things as such. And he'll never tell you that, that he does a lot of work, but he does. And I appreciate that. I also appreciate the fact that regardless of how horrible the Redskins do in a season, the Dallas Cowboys can come and make my day much better. Every time as us being 3-10, we go for a stupid 2-point conversion, as well as I understand it being on the road Not a fan. Let's go into overtime and whatever. But hey, it is what it is. We took another L. However, the greatest part of that day, as sad as it was when the Cowboys choked, literally, when you're up 29-3 against the Green Bay Packers at home. All you need is to run the damn ball, yet you don't, and you lose. And nothing against Cowboy fans. It does bring me great joy to see that as bad as our season is, there's somebody who is absolutely worse than ours, because the so-called America's team can't get back to the playoffs since like 2009. And after you give Romo $100 million that he, well, depending on how you feel about whether he deserves it or not, is whatever. My opinion is, if Tom Brady doesn't make $100 million, nobody should make $100 million. And that's real. Because Tom Brady has probably done the most for his talent in the last decade than anybody else in the NFL. And that's big ups to the Patriots fans and picking Tom Brady in the 6th round. So, I don't get it. Like, I hope in history we never pay anybody $100 million, because that means our team's going to suck for another decade, and I can't have that. I'd rather just us not pay people when we just suck. But, you know, the biggest issue I wanted to talk about today was it's hard to go to another year without feeling bad about Chris Brown. You know, it makes me sad because the dude looked like he was getting himself together. He goes to D.C., gets into a fight, and guess what? He revokes your probation. Are you kidding me? Dude, how about you just stay at home? Why don't you have somebody go get you the new Xbox One and all the games, get you the PlayStation 4 or 5 or whatever the hell it is, because I don't play Sony crap. Stay at home and just play video games. Or how about you just go buy the Redbox like machine and bring it to your house so you can just rent movies, all that. Why take yourself out of situations that are positive and put yourself in a negative situation? And you know, this isn't even about you at this point in time, because you always have haters. Me, yes, I hate on you. I hate on you because you should be doing better. But there are people who hate on you because you're Chris Brown. Look, just because you go somewhere, that does not mean you have to fight all the damn time. How about if you can't keep your hands off somebody, just stay at home. Put your hands on yourself. I mean, play video games, watch movies. Stay at home, for God's sake. Stop getting in trouble. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. And I know in 2 more months, I'm going to talk about this again, because he's going to go out and he's going to do something stupid again. Because this usually happens. Every 2 months he does something stupid. I stop talking about him, and then he does something stupid. I got to talk about him again. Then he doesn't do anything stupid for another couple months. Just stop, man. Just stay the hell at home. Please. I'm begging you, man. Just stay at home. Stay out of trouble. For God's sake, stay out of trouble. New Year's, celebrate that with your mom, yo. Just stay at home, celebrate with your mom and your family, and just chill, whether it's Tappahannock or Los Angeles or go to an island somewhere where nobody know you at. Just stay the F out of trouble, man. I can't take it, because it's just sad to see somebody who had so much potential just blow it all away. Kids or adults, learn from this. Don't do stupid stuff. Don't do stupid. What? You want to sell drugs so you gotta pay the rent? Go get yourself a second job. You know, just don't do stupid stuff. It's the holiday season. Right now, it's been pretty solid. We haven't had a lot of stupidity going on as far as robberies and stuff like that. And let's keep it that way. Hope everybody has a great holiday season. I'll be here next week, but I don't know a capacity I'm gonna be here next week. So if for whatever reason you don't hear from me, have a great holiday season, and we're gonna see you in 2014, peeps. Big Rube Smash. I'm out.
Ain't no how stepping with Marcus J. Big Rube and a smash, and he's out. I want to thank the crew, everybody that we had here tonight that participated in the show. Thanking, of course, SY, my sister, love you, girl, as well as Mama. Thank you, both for the love that y'all always show to me. I appreciate it. I'm a humble dude, and you guys have always been real sweet to me, so I appreciate it. Carlton Banks, my brother, one of my oldest friends, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for the contrast and opinions that we always have. It's always loud, and it's always aggressive, but it's always with love and affection, so I appreciate you, my brother. Big Rube, my partner. Couldn't do Legacy Internet Radio without you, so I appreciate the kind words that you share with the listeners. You're right, I would never say most of the things that you said, but it's nice to be recognized, and it's certainly nice to be recognized publicly, so thank you for that. My thank yous to the listeners tonight. What up to Joy, one of our most staunch supporters, and we appreciate it. Said, what up, bro? Appreciate you. Michelle, we know that you listen to us every single week as well, sis. Thank you so much. Priscilla, we appreciate your support holding us down in Jersey City, New Jersey, my hometown. First time I said Jersey City tonight, but I gotta say it every night. Special thanks to my sister Jackie of What Jackie Says, Virginia Union University alum, my sister from Virginia Union, of the blog What Jackie Says. We talked about Chief Keef and the petition to Interscope Records to have his record pulled off of the shelf. So I appreciate her passion. Definitely appreciate her participation on Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. Live from the den here, Legacy Internet Radio. Hope to figure out some kind of way to have that sister back with us, because that passion is the kind of passion that we like to have here with us at the crew. One last thing I want to get into before my rant and my closing, that's why I alluded to it. Next week will be our final show of 2013. We will take the week of New Year's Eve off, and we'll be back in 2014 bigger and better than ever. But next week we do expect to have most, if not the entire crew of Legacy Internet Radio here in the building for Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J, as we are the flagship show here at Legacy Internet Radio. We'll be broadcasting live from the den as we do every single week. Some of the folks have been confirmed, and some have not. But to run down the list of shows, we've got Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J, which is right here every single Monday from 7 to 9:30, and live in radio with Mr. LP Steven Sykes and Mr. Sincere, Miss Brandy, every single Tuesday from 7 to 9. You've got the Green Room version 2.0 with my brother Jay Grizzy and my sister Lissa P every single Wednesday from 7 to 9. On Thursday, Iron Horse Radio, the newest edition of Legacy Internet Radio, celebrating biker culture, African American black biker culture, and we're definitely very happy and proud to have them part of the crew. They man the slot 7 to 9 every single Thursday. Friday night, music only. Did they just play that? The music only show starting right before 6 o'clock with the Bob Marley and the Family music mix going up until about 7, and then starting around 7 I'm playing whatever the hell I feel like playing that night, and it could be pretty much anything. I might play Wu-Tang, I might play Sting, I don't know, it depends on how I feel. So I appreciate that. We replay that show on Saturdays for the duration of the month of December. On Saturdays we're playing holiday music starting around about 4:30 on Saturdays, about 2.5 hours playing holiday music. So you're going to hear Chestnuts Roasting and Silent Night by the Temptations, and This Christmas with Donny Hathaway, and all your favorites. We're going to have them all. Christmas in Hollis with Run DMC. We got all of that. We're going to play all of that every Saturday for the rest of the month. And then culminating the end of the night on Saturdays, Deep House Sessions with DJ Renee Melendez from 7 to 9. My sister broadcasting live from Jersey City, New Jersey with Deep House Sessions. So, you know, we broadcasting here in Richmond, Virginia, as well as in other areas. So we appreciate the support that we have. Everybody listen to us tonight, and everybody that continues to listen to us. We've had listeners as far as Seoul in South Korea, as well as far as Phoenix, Arizona, Florida, up north in New Jersey, New York, Chicago, Atlanta. You know, so we're definitely growing, and it's because of you guys. Kansas, Oklahoma, it's because of you guys that we continue to do this. I want to give a special shout out to all the true fighters that might be listening to us tonight. I know that y'all out there, and I appreciate the support that you guys have given us here at Legacy Internet Radio as well. So at this time, I'd like to end the show with my rant In my closing, and as I do every single week, I just take a minute to kind of share some final thoughts with you guys. And tonight I want to talk about fairness and priorities. One of the first things we learn as children, what is right, what is wrong. Of course, as we get older and a little bit more jaded, our interpretation of right and wrong begins to blur. But at our core, I honestly know that most of us are born good, honest people. And those who aren't, well, they like lemons. They like the car that came off the assembly line, a little jacked up. You still drive the car. You just got to deal with the crap that comes with it. Let's focus first on fairness. We live in a world where a school district sees fit to suspend a 6-7-year-old boy for innocently kissing a girl. We talked about that earlier, and I'm still not seeing the harm here. We understand that his advances may have been unwelcome. That's fair, but he's like 6-7 years old. What message do we think he learned by being suspended and sent home? Does anybody think that he learned the errors of his ways? And while we're on the subject of suspension, how about the high schooler we talked about who lost his scholarship to college because he hugged his teacher? Now, I don't really care about the situation. Anyone who thinks taking away the future of this boy because of his exuberant behavior just isn't being fair. And that, again, is the key word that I want to discuss here in this piece: fairness. And fairness can be skewed based on one's experiences. For example, if the only example you see of a group is bad behavior, then you may think that harsh penalties for bad behavior is fair, right? So when Judge Gene Boyd of Tarrant County in Texas sent that 14-year-old boy to prison in March of 2012 for killing one person with a powerful punch, but then sentenced a rich 16-year-old white boy who pled guilty to drunk driving and killing 4 people to 10 years of probation, we'd assume that's fair too, right? Wrong. But he was suffering from affluenza, so it's okay. Is it fair that George Zimmerman, who recently got his guns back, by the way, is free, while Marissa Alexander, who also was recently released pending her new trial, was sentenced to 20 years in prison, both of whom claim to have stood their ground? My point, the world is not fair, and we have to get our priorities right. And why I see folks going crazy about the new Beyonce record, that disturbs me. Apparently, it's the #1 record in 100 countries. By the way, it came out in the middle of the night with no promotion, no pre-interviews, nothing. Dropped 4 days ago, and it's already the #1 hit all over the world. And everybody loves Beyonce and all of that kind of stuff. But when I talk about Invest in Us Too, the program where we hope to raise money for each other to create businesses and jobs, and we raised just a measly $10,000 in 6 weeks, again, people, priorities. Y'all running out to get the new Jordans, but ain't nobody want to talk about getting together and raising some money together so that we all can prosper. And those of us who speak that way get looked upon like we the ones that's tripping. And by the way, has anybody seen Michael Jordan in the hood? Building, donating, showing his face, anything, But we rush to line his pockets for a shoe that he don't even wear no more because the dude ain't played in 10 years. We build, we share, we love, and we create, and we do it for each other as if it was for ourselves. That's the culture that I study. That's the culture that I'm a part of, and I refuse to believe that we are only scandal and Chief Keef and folks who suffer from the opposite of affluenza. I'm not a Christian, but I have no problem with the true spirit of Christianity, and I scoff at those who don't acknowledge that Jesus himself was, guess what, y'all? A socialist. Maybe we need more socialism in Christianity to help us with our priorities. Maybe then we can see the true fairness in how we treat and how we are treated. We are part of the problem, but we can and we must do better. That's the Myrrh. Marcus's unrelated rant that had a little bit to do with what we talked about here tonight. That's the end of the show. I want to remind everybody that independence is key to building your legacy. Also want to say peace to all the stars and all the squares. In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. Those are the words of Bob Marley, who you hear singing in the background. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. We'll be back next week with our final show of the year. We'll be back. We'll see you. Peace.